Hi everyone, my name is Mark and welcome back in this episode. Today, we're taking major step towards completing the foundation of our house in Poland. With the concrete pour just around the corner, it was time to get hands-on and build a formwork from scratch. We had a workstation built from pallets and wood, but it was time to dismantle it. We needed that wood for the formwork. About half of the wood we had on our land wasn't very straight, so it turned out to be a good decision to pick up some extra timber that morning before we headed out. After moving and double checking all the timber we had on the property, I sorted through. It was very important to use fairly straight boards to get everything aligned properly and avoid uneven surface. We also needed to cut braces to support the formwork from the outside to keep the concrete from pushing it out of place. We used 4 by 5 cm pieces of wood cut into roughly 40 cm pieces. I had an old jigsaw laying around in my flat for years and years, and finally it came in handy. We had all the materials ready except for a water level. I ended up buying one. It's a simple tool, just a hose filled with water. I didn't have a laser this time, so I had to go old school. It was fun. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Using the water lever was honestly frustrating. I spent a lot of time running back and forth, and I often spilled the water that was supposed to stay inside the hose. It meant I had to refill and check everything again. I was inexperienced and had to learn how to work with this tool to ensure the surface would be level when the concrete was poured. I initially tried working with 4 or 5 meter long planks, but ended up switching to 2-meter pieces. They were much easier to handle on my own. Once each board was level, I secured it with the braces we had cut earlier. Every piece had to be connected properly to make sure it held together. You definitely don't want the formwork breaking during the concrete pour. Toward the end of the job, my wife came and helped me, which made things much smoother, especially using the water level. All in all, it took 3 days. Day 1 was a disaster until I figured out what needed to be done and how to do it right. I think I was trying to be way too precise, keeping the level difference to an absolute minimum. Eventually, it was done, and I don't think I ever been so happy to finish a task so far. This was not my favorite part at all, and I had a lot of struggle. Next step, digging the base for the chimney. I marked the 4 corners and we started digging. Ideally, this could have been done earlier, but plans change constantly. This is a pretty large chimney base, about 120 times 120 cm, but we made it this big to allow some flexibility in positioning the chimney later on, if needed. Once the hole was ready, we prepared the rebar cage, cut and bent all the rebars, then assembled the cage. It was actually easy and kind of fun. The finished cage looked like a crab trap from the seafloor. It fit perfectly into the hole with enough room on all the sides for the concrete to surround it properly. We also moved all the rebar meshes into place to check if we had enough or we needed more. After the kids used the wooden planks as a bridge and walked across multiple times, we lowered the cage into its final position and tied it up on the planks. That was it for the day, then it was time to call it and continue the next time. The hole was about less than a cubic meter, not a huge volume, so we decided to mix the concrete ourselves. We filled it with wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow. I used a piece of wood to poke into the mix as we went, just to make sure no air got trapped. After each pour, I shook the rebar cage to help compact the mix properly. Once all the concrete was in place, I started leveling it, but quickly realized it wasn't worth it or necessary. Another concrete layer would go on top of this anyway, so I let that go. Before it dried, I added some vertical rebars and just like that, the chimney base was officially done. Exciting times. We were getting close to finalizing the base of our house and looking forward to the next days and weeks. And of course, cleaning all the tools with freezing water was part of the plan each time I was using betonjarka. Hope you enjoyed this part. Don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned. I'll see you in 2 weeks on Friday. Mark is out. Peace.